Welcome back to the channel, folks. Today we will be discussing how much surveillance video is enough video to get the job done. I get asked questions all the time about how much video should a private investigator obtain during surveillance. Not only will we discuss that question in more detail, we will also be answering the question I also get asked often: after you get the money shot, why is there always more surveillance needed? The easy answer to the first question, how much surveillance video should a PI obtain during surveillance, is as much as possible to a point. Within reason, of course, folks. You don't want to be trying so hard to get video that you also end up getting burned or made too. I had an infidelity case a while back where I hired one of my regular subcontractors to go out and work a few nights to see what the client's husband was doing. This type of case is pretty straightforward. Usually not much can go wrong if the PI is careful and aware of the details of the case. In this particular case, we had plenty of intel from the client about information such as when the subject gets off work, what bars and restaurants he frequents, who the client thought he may be seeing, and other crucial data. Having this kind of intel at the get-go can really make surveillance a lot easier most of the time, as you can formulate plans in your mind of what to do when the subject does certain things and goes certain places. A key factor to success for cases like this, folks, is to conduct and prepare your pre-surveillance work with detail and make sure you understand all of the intelligence available. Now, for my cases, I always take all of the information and I create a surveillance cover sheet for my field operatives that gives them all of the details they need to make informed decisions while out on surveillance. Now, if the field operative goes through the details of the cover sheet, ensures they understand the details fully, they will usually not have any issues during surveillance. In this particular case, we had informed the surveillance investigator of several facts, to include that this case was an intel gathering case, not an evidentiary gathering case. In other words, if we have any evidence showing infidelity, that is enough for the client, and this case would not be going to court. The client just simply needs to know. The investigator we were using is a very good investigator. Unfortunately for this case, though, he did not review all of the case notes. He did not fully understand how much video was enough video to obtain. You see, many surveillance investigators work a wide gamut of case types, from workers' comp to child custody to infidelity, and usually those workers' comp, personal injury, and slip and fall type cases are more abundant. So when he went out on surveillance, he knew when to go, where to go, had vehicles, photos, addresses, and locations, and had it all memorized. After following the target home, then to a restaurant where he met a female subject, he then followed them to a local nightclub. Now, he had all of the evidence we needed at the restaurant. The two sat side by side in a booth, played kissy face throughout dinner, and were obviously romantically involved. When he followed them to the nightclub, then things turned for the worse for the investigator. Having the mindset of get all the video I can, the investigator followed them into the club, got a seat at the bar, and continued to obtain video as the couple sat, had drinks, and did some dancing. The problem here is that the subject had taken notice of him at the restaurant and now saw him at the bar. So there was a verbal confrontation between the two, and the investigator was obviously made. Now, at the time, the subject didn't know who the investigator was watching or if he was just some creep, but he knew he was not there by coincidence. So how much video was enough video for this case? The video showing the two subjects together with their first hug, their first hand holding, and that first kiss was more than enough for the client. This was enough to tell the client what she needed to know to help her make decisions regarding the situation. Now, hindsight is always 20/20, but in cases like these, I would always pull back after I have the evidence I need, try to grab a little more video from the parking lots, and when they go to their nightly destination. I probably would not have gone into the bar unless I really thought I needed to make sure that they were still there. And if I did go into the bar, it would be 5 or 10 minutes after they went in with a full disguise, and I would have only stayed briefly to obtain a photo or short video establishing they were inside. But what about injury-related cases? How much video is enough video for those types of jobs? Now, there is a big secret to determining the answer to this question, which we will look at in just a moment. As a general rule, though, my primary rule of thumb for injury-related cases is often to obtain as much video as I can while ensuring the integrity of the case. It is way too easy for the subject to defend one-off type behaviors documented in video, folks. If I get video of the claimant utilizing his injured arm, opening a door, carrying his groceries, driving one day, it is easy for him to just say, well, my meds kicked in and I was having a good day that day. But if I capture similar activity on multiple days, then we are starting to establish patterns of activity. This is why getting the money shot is not always enough. In fact, in most cases, the primary goal is establishing patterns of activity over time. Over the years, I have conducted literally thousands of surveillance cases on injury claims, and I often will get the same cases back many times over the course of time. I have had cases where I work the same subject 3 or 4 times a year for multiple years even, but why? Because the insurance company wants to have irrefutable evidence to prove fraud in these cases, and they want to know that it really is a fraud case. You see, the insurance companies are not just looking to prove everyone who has a claim is guilty of fraud, but when obvious fraud is happening, they will pursue the matter to the end. Many times, the surveillance is used as an educational process for the injured party too. If the injured company sees the claimant is obviously injured, but not adhering to doctor's orders and doing the things he is supposed to be doing, or not taking certain precautions to ensure they can heal quickly and safely, they will use this to educate the claimant to ensure full recovery. So the big secret as to how much video is enough video really is reliant on your client's needs. Make sure you discuss this with your client before conducting surveillance so you know you're on the same page. Now, if you would like to hear 25 surveillance tips in 5 minutes, then check out this video.